Today, we are going to be talking about one of my favorite topics. And it's not spirituality, it's not eroticism, and it's not feminine leadership. But it's a key component to you being able to fulfill the fullness and the purpose that you came here to create. And that is aligned action. It might not sound sexy, but the action you take is either making or breaking you. Queen, quick break to say welcome to the Ghislain Maiden podcast. This is your home of rebellious feminine leadership, an unfiltered space where I bridge feminine wisdom, spirituality, energetics, manifestation, shadow work, embodiment, and purpose-led leadership into one potent, life-changing transmission. You'll learn to master the energetics and the frequencies behind your success. Awaken your body's wisdom, activate your spiritual gifts to lead with unshakable confidence, trust, and magnetic presence. No more second guessing, no more hiding, no more hustling to get ahead, just unapologetic power, effortless manifestation, and iconic leadership that leaves the others wondering how you did it. Before we get into today's episode, I have 3 quick things I would love you to do for me. Go ahead and hit subscribe to make sure you don't miss one of our transmissions. If you love this podcast, go ahead and give us 5 stars. And if you know another woman who's ready to reclaim her feminine power and create the success, the influence, and the freedom she deserves, go ahead and share this with one of your friends. All of these things help me create a better product for you. And if you don't feel like it, no hard feelings. Let's get back into today's episode, shall we? I want you to think about, what action did you take today to become the woman that you are destined to become? When you woke up this morning, what energy and what frequency did you marinate in? And then from that embodiment, that ownership of your worth, of your power, of your confidence, what action did you follow it up to create the reality that you want to create? And this is one of the missing steps that manifestation does not talk about enough. One of the biggest and the worst things that has happened in the manifestation space is the book, The Secret. Personally, I never resonated with that book. And I know so many people who loved that book, who thought it was the best thing. That was their manifestation Bible. But guess what? Their reality hasn't changed. Because if you are not marinating, setting intentions out to the universe, calling the frequencies in that you want to become, and you're not following that up with massive fucking aligned action, your affirmations don't mean anything. Neither does your morning meditation. Because the truth of the matter is, your reality right now is a reflection of the energy you are or you aren't taking. So if you don't like your reality, guess what? You're responsible for changing it. The problem is most of you want to stay in victim consciousness and stay in this, oh, I can't possibly because like this happened to me, and stay on your fucking doom scrolling, fulfilling the self-fulfilling prophecy and beliefs of I'm not fucking good enough, so let me find some evidence of everybody else that's out there doing the things that you actually want to do to prove that self-fulfilling prophecy of not enough. I am going to set you a challenge this week for 3 months. So for the last 2 months of this year and the first month of next year, I want you to get so embodied in your morning routine, in the frequency, in the embodiment, in the energy of the bigness of your purpose, of your mission, of your potential, And then from that place, I want you to take massive, aligned, inspired action. Because that is what the universe is responding to. Your little reality right now is a reflection of your thoughts, your words, and the action you are taking. The universe is simply responding to who you're being. So if you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is pick up your phone, and then you're automatically giving your focus, your attention, your energy to someone else, and before you know it, you've scrolled and you've connected to all these fake projections of someone's life that isn't actually someone's real life and what's going on behind the thing. And now all of a sudden you're feeling like shit because you haven't moved your body, you haven't meditated, and you haven't grounded into the energy you want to create. And you wonder why you're not fucking happy. You chose that reality. You took the action of not prioritizing yourself. So when are you going to take radical self-accountability for your frequency, for your energy, and for your reality? Because until you two take radical self-accountability, you will consistently stay in victim consciousness. This is where 90% of the world is. Oh, I can't do this because of X, Y, and Z. I did not go from being a 16-year-old woman who moved out of home, was in a domestic violence relationship, had a child at 17, to a 6-figure business owner, facilitated events all around the world by sitting there, meditating and waiting for life to fucking come to me. Consistently at every point in my life, I have taken massive and sometimes small action, right? So when I say massive inspired action, I want to be really clear what I mean by that, because it's really easy to think, oh, she wants me to go and like do the big thing. What I mean by massive inspired action is what is the action you are taking every single day that is in alignment with the reality that you want to create and that you want to call in. Because I couldn't have gone from someone who was the survivor of domestic violence. You know, if people who knew me when I was 17 would have said, she's a no-hoper, she's not going to achieve anything, blah, 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 blah. Let me prove you fucking wrong. Look where I am now. The thing that got me from there to here is the consistent, aligned action I have taken along the way, and I will continue to take to fulfill the purpose that I am here to complete. And so many people say to me now, oh, you're so lucky. Bitch, fucking please. Luck has nothing to do with this. But resilience and determination did. And the problem with 90% of Manifestation Coach, the problem with The Secret, is they don't speak enough about your radical accountability, action, and self-responsibility. So if you want the dream partner, but you are telling the story that all men are shit, if you want the 50K launches, but you don't believe that your services are life-changing, and then you don't have either of those things in your reality, oh, I wonder why that is. Because subconsciously what you're going to do is you're going to sabotage yourself by not taking the action. And that's why you won't have the reality that you want. You see, we need to speak more about what is the massive inspired action you are taking every single day. And this doesn't mean that we don't show up for the hard shit, that we don't honor our shadow. It actually means that we become devoted to meeting whatever the fuck it is that's standing in our way from where we want to go. I am coming out of one of the most challenging periods of my life. And there were moments where, I'll be really honest with you, I wanted to burn everything to the fucking ground and say, nah, right? But I didn't. I didn't stay in victim consciousness. I allowed myself to feel the pain, to grieve, because I've been saying goodbye to who I was so that I can become who I'm destined to become. And we go into this void space. But even in this time, I have still taken consistent, inspired, aligned action to move me forward. And now guess what? The universe is bringing me things without me having to do anything other than take massive, inspired, aligned action. Because if you do just 1% every single day in the direction where you want to go, in a year, you will change your life by 40%. You do that for 2 years, you've nearly completely changed your life. You do that for a trifecta and you're a completely different person. And you see, we need to let go of this instantaneous shit. If you have been a certain way for your entire life, reprogramming that is a commitment. It is a devotion and it is a dedication. Because Rome wasn't built in a day. And you becoming the leader, the entrepreneur, the business owner, the woman who's leading a mission, that is going to take consistent action and a shedding of everything that's not in alignment with that version of you. Now, there are so many of you. I actually hate New Year's resolutions because for 90% of people, they don't mean anything. Because by the time February comes around, most of y'all have broken your New Year's resolutions. Doesn't mean anything if you don't set yourself up for success by taking action every single day towards fulfilling your goals. Guess what? You're still going to be scrolling Instagram next year, looking at all the people that took the action and going, oh my God, how did they do it? They're so lucky. No, they actually just took the fucking action. They took accountability for where they are. They got out of victim consciousness. Said, okay, if I'm the co-creator of my reality, because we are a co-creator, the universe is always yes. The universe is always aligning you up for what it is that you're truly meant for. It's just, are you saying yes to it, or are you actually blocking it? And this is why, come the 24th of October, 2026, if you have not taken any action towards creating the reality you actually want to create, you're still going to be in the same place. And unfortunately, 90% of people will. But I want you who listen to this to feel the radical empowerment that comes from when you take responsibility as the driver for the vehicle that is your life. Because if you are here to create a big purpose, guess what? It's not going to come on hopes and dreams. It's going to come through action, through alignment to yourself, your purpose, and to your universal frequency, so you don't have to hustle your way to the top. That's actually what's going to move you forward. This is why getting in the container with the coach is going to be able to move you forward, is one of the most transformative things you can do. Every time I work with a coach, Quantum Leap, my coach is my number one business asset, because that keeps me accountable to the action I need to take to become the woman that I need to become. And it is an investment that I have made before I even started my business. My coaching is my biggest investment every year, because an investment in me is the best thing I can do. It's better than any investment in a house. I will get a much higher return on my investment in myself than I will on any property. Because once I invest 10, 20, 30 grand over the years, you turn that into 100 plus K business. Oh, look at that in a few years. It's more than a house is going to give you. And so I really want you to think and really audit where you are now and where you want to go. And then I want you to audit your habits, your beliefs, and the action you are taking every single day. And it isn't actually in alignment with where you want to go. And if it's not, well, you can see why you're not there and why you're not going to get there. You say you want to be fit, but you're eating shit food. You say you want to be a business owner, but you spend your time getting drunk, going out on the weekends, not investing in yourself, not taking the action towards starting your business and doing the thing that's going to create the lifestyle, the freedom, and the income that you actually fucking want. Well, you're not going to get the thing because the universe loves momentum. Anytime you take action, you move out of stagnant energy and the universe responds. Because the universe is always conspiring for you in alignment with who you are being, and who you're being is a combination of your words, your thoughts, and your actions. So I dare you to take courageous, aligned action every single day for the next 3 months to rewire your shitty thoughts, your shitty habits, your shitty programming that's going to stop you from being able to achieve the thing and actually just go do the thing. And oh my God, watch your reality change. Because it takes between 8 and 12 weeks to completely change your reality. And this doesn't mean that you don't show up for the hard stuff. It means you go there and you look at really, where's your trauma? Where's your limiting beliefs? Where are your suppressed emotions that are actually the thing that's got you frozen in inaction? And how can you release them so that you can go and take the massive, courageous action? Because fortune always favors the brave. The people who will change the world are the people who are courageous enough to have a vision for themselves, their lives, and humanity that is bigger than themselves. And this is why when I work with women, I am so passionate. We go out and we tap in to the expansiveness of their purpose and we anchor it into their physical, their energetic, their spiritual body so that it's so embedded with who they are that they know how to show up and ride the waves of entrepreneurship, because it is a wild ride. I describe it like I'm surfing. Sometimes I'm up and I'm like, yeah, I'm riding the waves and I'm thinking I'm a king. And then all of a sudden I'm face planting a fucking sand in my face. And I don't even surf, but I just imagine that's what it's like. That's the reality of entrepreneurship. So if you don't have a purpose that's so fucking bigger than you, that gets you out of bed in those hard times, that you know you're here to do epic fucking shit, you won't take the action. And this is why I only work with women who are ready to tap into their purpose, tap into their bigness. Because it's from that place that we get to connect to something bigger to them. And that becomes the fuel that feeds the fire in those moments when it's really, really tough. So if you're a woman who's really ready to stop kidding herself and take radical self-responsibility for the reality that you have co-created so far, and you're ready to create the new one that's more aligned, that's more abundant, that has more freedom, that has more influence, and all the things that you desire, the doors are now open for the Consciousness Collective. And this is exactly the work we do. We teach you how to master the realms of the energetic so you can create the success without the hustle. We also do the really important mindset rewiring. Look at your habits. Look at what action can you start taking today to move the needle forward, so that when it comes to the end of 2026, you're not sitting there feeling shit because you've had another year where you've achieved nothing. So if you're ready to get into the world, book your call below, and please just remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is the thing that's often holding women back. You just need to take the action. Because from action, you get data. From data, you know what is and isn't working. And from here, you can create change so that you create something better. Your perfectionism, your inaction will be the death of your innovation. So what action can you take today to start to test the ideas, to start to test your business so you can get real-time feedback and step more deeply into your purpose? Okay, let me know in the comments what landed for you. That's all I've got for you today. Thanks so much. I'll see you next